Hello guys, welcome to the Code Ashram. My name is Rahul Shekhawat and this is our next video in the series of Selenium with Java. So in the last video we saw how we can execute multiple test classes parallelly using test.xml using parallel attribute in test.xml. So in this video we will see what is the difference between implicit wait and explicit wait. So before understanding what is the difference between implicit wait and explicit wait, first we should understand what is the difference between thread.sleep and implicit wait. So so thread.sleep is what generally people call it hard wait. So let's understand what is hard wait. So let's try to implement it first. You generally implement hard wait using thread.sleep. Thread.sleep. Let's give time over here. So you have to use try catch, surrounded with try catch. So this is how you implement hard wait using thread.sleep. So how it is different from other weights such as implicit weight, explicit weight, and fluent weight. Uh, all the other weights such as implicit weight and explicit weight are the intelligent weight, and whereas hard weight is not. Hard weight, when you apply hard weight somewhere in your script, it actually waits for that specific period of time. It basically pauses the whole execution for the particular time, for the time you have given, you have passed as an argument. But this is not the case with other intelligent weights such as implicit weight and explicit weight. They basically waits until a particular element on the web page gets loaded or is visible on the application. They do not wait for the whole time they are provided with. They only waits until a particular web element is present or visible in the web application. So they keep checking after every few seconds whether the web element is present on the web application or not. Whenever the web element is located on the web application, they stop waiting and start performing the action on that web element. But this is not the case with hard wait. Hard wait usually waits for the time you have given. So if you have given like 5 seconds, it will wait for the 5 seconds, no matter what, whether the web element has loaded on the application or not. But on but with the other intelligent weights such as explicit weight and implicit weights, they basically wait until some condition or until the web element has loaded on the web application or not. So this is the main difference between hard weight and other weights, other intelligent weights such as implicit and explicit weight. These weights are called intelligent because they are smarter than hard weight because they only wait for the time they are needed. They do not wait for the extra time. They do not wait unnecessarily for the web elements. So that is why they are called intelligent weights. So as you know that as we saw in the last videos that this is how we implement implicit weights. Set weights. So in this video we will see how we can implement explicit weights also. So one more thing to note is that we should always try to avoid hard weights because they are really very dangerous to use in our test scripts. They unnecessarily increases your test execution time. You should always try to use the more intelligent weights such as implicit weight, explicit weight. Uh, One more thing to note here is that you should never try to use implicit weight and explicit weight simultaneously. For example, if you try to use both the weights at the same time, then there can be unpredictable results or observations with your test scripts. which no one can predict. So you should always try to avoid using the two weights simultaneously. So now we will see how we can use explicit weights on in our Selenium. So let's uh, comment this implicit weight right for now, and let's define a variable WebDriver weight, and here we can WebDriver weight. You have to give the driver instance as well as the timeout. Let's say 30 seconds. I think we have to use duration of seconds. So we have used 30 seconds of time. So the main difference between implicit wait and the explicit wait is that implicit wait is basically applied to all the web elements in the script. So it generally waits for the web element to load for the particular time, and if that element doesn't get load within that time period, then it throws you a error, that element not found exception. But with the explicit wait, you get more freedom. You do not apply the weight throughout your scripts. You only apply the weights to some specific web elements. So here you get more freedom to apply the weights where it is needed more and where it is needed less. For example, some web elements take more time to load than others. So in explicit weight, this provides you the this flexibility to adjust the time for some elements and increase the wait time for some elements and to have less time for others. So this is the flexibility or freedom you get with the explicit weight. So and also one thing to note is that implicit weight usually increases your execution time. So how it increases your execution time is that, as I said, it is applied to all the web elements throughout your script. So for example, if there is a particular web element and you are on the application and you are expecting that this web element will not should not appear on the application. So what will implicit wait will do is that it will actually wait for the particular time period for the web element, but we know that that web element is expected not to appear on the application. So in that case also it will wait for that the period. So which is unnecessary waiting. So this is how it increases our test execution, because it applies to all the web elements whether they are expected to appear on the application or not. But this is not the case with explicit wait. Here you can adjust the wait time. If, for example, some web element is expected not to appear on the web application, then in that case you can adjust the conditions, expected conditions and the time, so that you don't have to wait unnecessarily for that web element which is expected not to come. So let's see how they are implemented. So this is how the explicit waits are defined. So this is how we have defined our explicit wait variable. So now let's use it. One more thing about explicit wait is that they actually wait for some expected condition to occur. They wait for if that expected condition occurs within the time given, then they perform the action. Otherwise, they will throw us a error. And the exception that will be thrown is timeout exception. So now let's try to use our explicit wait. For example, here we want to click on the forgot password link. So for that, first we wait that forgot password link appears on the web page. So for that, we can use explicit wait like wait dot until expected condition. As I said that it waits for some expected conditions. So you can check all the expected conditions in explicit wait over here. As you can see, there are a lot of expected conditions available here for your convenience. So you can use any expected condition for a web element. So now let's move to our IDE and let's try to put a expected condition over here. So we are gonna wait for that element to be visible. So we are gonna use visibility of element located by. So we are gonna use a by link text that it first appears and after that only it clicks on it. So here it will wait for the visibility of that element which is located by the link text forget password. Only after waiting for that it will click on only after the visibility of this element it will click on it and not before that. We can put one more wait in the email. So let's locate it by ID. By ID, you can easily locate it. Also, similarly, we can do the same on form submit. So, so it will basically wait for the visibility of these elements before doing any action on these web elements. So within the time specified, if these elements are not visible, then it will throw a exception, timeout exception. Otherwise, if they appear or if they are visible before this time, then it will perform the action. So now let's build the project and execute it. So I've commented the code for Edge and we are gonna only execute it in Chrome. And let's see how it gets executed. So it is the getting executed now. So it has launched the URL. So as you can see, all the tests passed. So this is how you can use explicit weights in your test scripts. As I said that uh, it's always recommended to use explicit weight instead of implicit weight because implicit weights actually increases your execution time because as I said earlier that it applies to all the web elements you are using in your test script. Even if some web elements on a web page are expected not to appear, they will wait for it. They will wait unnecessarily for the time period you have specified. So it is always recommended to use explicit waits instead of implicit wait. So this was the difference between the hard wait and other intelligent waits. That is implicit wait and explicit wait. So yeah, that is all for this video. Thanking for viewing the video. Do like our video if you like it and do also subscribe our channel Code Ashram. Thank you so much.